So my name is Chelsea Heitman, and I'm a school counselor at a school in Topeka, Kansas. We selected Connect with Kids as our social emotional curriculum, and one big thing that our teachers kept saying is that if we're teaching this, we need to have a voice. And so we formed a committee with about 6 teachers on it, our administration and both of our counselors, and we're the ones that basically go through the curriculum and select the lesson based on what we're seeing in our school as needs. Our hope is eventually to use our Swiss data to target certain areas if we see that there's an area in the building that needs focused on. But really we sit down once a month, go over the lesson. The teachers are the ones who select it. We support them and help them with curriculum needs, and then they're the ones that actually go back and teach the rest of the staff. We felt like this was really important because if we're going to give teachers a responsibility of being the primary people to be giving instruction, then they need to have a voice. One other big thing that our staff wanted was that they all take equal responsibility with this. So whenever we have a Connect with Kids day, we have a modified schedule that day. And let's say it's second hour, basically the world stops at our school during second hour, everyone teaches the Connect with Kids lesson, and then the admin team goes around to make sure it's being taught with fidelity, or if there's any difficult conversations going on, we help kind of mediate through those. But that was another teacher-led thing. And so then it changes every hour that we teach Connect with Kids. So it's not just second hour, it goes to third or fourth or seminar or whatever. So to be very clear with the teachers of what the expectations are, what we're trying, what's our goal, what are we trying to teach, what's the goal for each lesson. Next year our goal is to, okay, here's the goal, now how does this relate to our curriculum and how can we integrate it within our curriculum? So this first year has been kind of like, okay, here's this new thing that we're doing, and next year we're going to next step deeper with how can we relate to, making mistakes and recovering from mistakes to math class, or how can we use diligence and PE or wood shop. So starting to get our teachers to think, how can we integrate this within our own curriculum? So present it to teachers and be willing to hear their responses and willing to hear their feedback, and not make quick decisions. Like, it's okay that we're kind of trying different things out and then learning from feedback. Since this was such a new idea to our building, I think it's really, really important to get teachers on board and listen to them. Not necessarily all the time take what they're saying and make changes, but I think it's really important for them to feel like they have a voice and that they have some influence on what we're doing. Yeah, it's very important to preview the lessons, and with Connect with Kids, what we've learned that it's really important to look at the lesson plan first and then watch the video. The lesson plan does a really nice job of kind of giving a hint of what the video is going to be about, and so you can really tell whether it's what you're looking for or what you're not looking for by just looking at the lesson plan first. So some of the content at the middle school level we felt was maybe above our kids, or maybe not appropriate for what our kids were going through. I think it's really important to know your community and know your parents, know your audience, and then kind of make decisions based on that, because there are some lessons that the content just isn't as applicable to middle school as it might be for high school or different areas in the state or in the country. So it is essential to include social skills in the school setting, and you have to be thoughtful about it. You can't just assume what kids know or what you think that they're coming in with. A very large population of our kids have never, been sat down and said, okay, this is what you need to do, and this is why, the reason behind it. We just, I think, a lot of times assume that kids have those conversations at home, and in a lot of situations are not. So you have to be explicit with what you want kids to know and explicit with what your expectations are of their behavior. So, and if you do that, I guarantee you'll see improvement in the classroom and your staff morale, just improvements all over the board. One of the biggest reasons I was on the Ci3T bandwagon very early on in our journey was I think as a counselor's a dream to have, one, the support of your administration in your building of, hey, social emotional curriculum is going to be a huge part of this. I think in the profession of being a counseling, you kind of sometimes feel like you're on this island of always trying to teach and fix problems, and now it's a collective group effort of teaching and fixing problems. And so it was just, and to have the resources to do that, the money, the backing, it was just the trifecta for a counselor to say, hey, this is going to be a huge part of where our mission of our school is going, and it's academic, social, emotional, and behavior all integrated into one. We're going to actually have a master calendar, hopefully by June, of all of when we're scheduling in our social emotional curriculum for the whole entire next year. And it is isolated days and isolated hours that we pick, and then it rotates.